Nice. Well, so your new project, right? You've been getting to work over the past like year or so. I think not counting third shift instrumentals, this is like four projects in just over a year span.
That sounds right. Once we're in it, once we're on the saddle, we don't really count the miles that the horse is going. But once we're on the saddle, we rolling, we rolling. The sun is shining. We got the grass on our mouth. We chewing the stick and stuff. So we really don't get to count the miles. But yeah, I would definitely include third shift. That felt like my album. I know it's JUS's album, but that definitely felt like my album. I put up the money to go out there.
Yeah.
I really put all the effort in getting JUS to come into the studio to record and stuff like that. Because where we was at with third shift, it was real chaotic at times, and that's with all love and respect to my Bruiser brothers. But it's a workplace that was like a play place. So it took a lot for me to grab JUS to get into the studio. So I felt like my album for sure, all the effort I put into it, and I put together the track list and all that, and I had to fight for certain things about that album. So I'd count third shift too. But since when? What was that thing again? You said it's been four
I
albums
think
this year.
since the last time we did our interview, which was Wonderful World of Squadda B, which was like this time last year and then
Oh,
a little bit before. So not counting the third shift instrumental
okay, I
since
got
that
you.
time that we
Excuse
don't
me.
count.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Since Wonderful World, yeah, maybe I don't know. I don't know where you got that one from. I think because it feels like the first I did what SM6. Um, since Wonderful World, I did SM6. I did two versions of SM6.
Hmm.
Um, like I said, once we on the saddle, we don't really count the miles. The horse is going and we going, but it feels good. It feels like this is the first release since Wonderful World, like rap wise though, for real,
Yeah.
for real.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
Evolver. Shout out to Evolver, man. We dropped Evolver. It feels real good, man. We've evolved.
Yeah.
My name is Cowboy Eddie now. I'm no longer Squatter B. This is Cowboy Eddie. And that's where we evolved to from Evolver. Howdy.
Okay. Okay. Well, we'll get into that for sure. I think what I wanted to ask was because when we talked about Wonderful World, right, it was felt almost like a creative revival for you. I don't know if that's the right word, but you felt kind of fresh at the
Mm.
time. And so since then, like, where have you continued to get that sort of like creative motivation, that creative energy over the past year?
Just being out in the country, man. Just being out in the wild, being in the country, getting that fresh air, seeing the nature, hunting for our food and stuff like that. But nah, since Wonderful World, but Wonderful World, that was me kind of like allowing the big homies to be big homies. Like I've never really had someone executive produce my album like that. Like I've never given my songs over. Even when me and homie was up in the labels, even with that situation, like 808s and Dark Grapes 2 was maybe the only album that I had where we let someone else kind of direct the direct the flow.
Hmm.
It worked out. Both times worked out. Worked out with 808s too, and it worked out with Wonderful World. I feel lucky that I have the intuition and the selection to pick right people for the job. But yeah, with Wonderful World, that was kind of like me sending the songs in, me giving my all, and then JUS really did the due diligence of being like, yo, this is worth it, this isn't, this needs to go here, yada yada yada. We might need to change this, that. So JUS directed that last one, so that creativity was a little like given to me. It was a gift. Whereas with Evolver, that was like all me. Like Evolver was like, because you got to understand, like since main attractions and shit like that, I feel like I've lost a lot of people who previously listened to me. They don't know where to find me. That's just my theory. They don't know where to find me. They forgot all the shit. So with Evolver, it was kind of like I wanted to put something together that was like an accurate representation of my production style and the type of songs that I'm making nowadays. Because
Hmm.
Wonderful World, that was like for me, it felt like a compilation. Like it was a real album. I mean, I'm spitting on that thing. It's a Squad to be solo, but it kind of felt like a compilation because you got songs where I'm not even on the song. You know what
Hmm.
I mean? You got songs with all the Bruiser homies who I love dearly and tight. Shout out to Brigade, shout out Danny, and shout out the whole Brigade, Chips, BMO, everyone over there, especially ES, Skyler. Thank you, homie. Everybody over there, every single person. But Black Junior, what it do? In the words of Dale. But yeah, that was kind of a little different situation where it wasn't me picking and choosing. Evolver was something where it's like, all right, I got to show y'all what a Squad to Be album feels like in 2026. So
Hmm.
you get songs like track two where it just jumps straight into the song. It ain't no intro, it ain't nothing like that. Like it's a lot of creative ideas that I was really passionate about and I didn't really have to get an okay for. And so that creativity came from just, past, just like looking at the past and being like, damn, I want to show people where I'm at today. I want to, people know my shit. People talk about my shit a lot. So let me show them where I'm at today, and let's get some feedback from that. So it's really, the fans, the people, the supporters, everyone who loves hip hop and all that. What I mean, that was the creative energy that came through for that.
Yeah, yeah, and especially production wise, it feels Evolver feels more. I guess like it has a wider range. It's more ambitious than like
Oh,
Wonderful
yeah, quiet.
World. For
Hey, yeah, quiet, boss. Yeah.
it feels more ambitious might not be the word for it, but it feels like it has a wider range than maybe Wonderful World did or some of the stuff you've done recently. Is there any way like you just talked about some of it, but is there any way you felt like you needed to approach Evolver differently when you were starting to work on it and throughout the process of working on it?
Well, every day I woke up with a yeehaw and got to work. I feel like the first, yeah, I mean, look, we got a song with Dale on that thing. Like
Mm,
with the Wonderful World, we got Danny, JUS, Chips, Kevin Bailey. Shout out KB. That's the homie, man. He's someone who reminds me of myself. Like he make a lot of the beats. He out there hustling alone. I mean, his daddy was a big person, is a big person out there and shit like that. Like, my dad, he may not be a big person like that, but he's a hustler. My dad showed me the music thing because he was in a band, he was a drummer. He got
mm,
to, tour Germany and he got to do his thing. So I learned a lot from him. So KB kind of feel like me a little bit. We had him on there, so that's an important thing for me. But yeah, it's a little bit more ambitious because with the last album, that was a bruiser party, man. That was a bruiser Thanksgiving, or you know what I mean. So with this album, it was more so like I really didn't want no features on there, but we got Dev on that shit. So this
yeah.
one was more so of I feel like these type albums are event albums for me. Like they're like my WrestleManias and stuff like that. But this one's definitely different because I wanted to show where I am today, and I also wanted to give people something that made it feel like big. Like I don't have a lot of albums where it's just me. Like Doji don't count. Doji, my brother. Doji kind of like my left hand. Like if I'm sitting here, my left hand's right here. So
Mm,
Doji don't count. Shout out Doji. He don't count though. So this album was like all me. And I really wanted that to feel still big. I wanted it to feel like, yeah, it's, ain't no features, but it's a big album. So Dale, shout out Dale for helping me make that happen. It's a big thing. You know what I mean? It's all my beats. Ain't nobody else on the beats and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I wanted it to feel kind of ambitious. I wanted it to feel different. I stepped into it being like, all right, I just really want to give y'all where I'm at today, like actually where I'm at, not just the newest songs. I want to pick each song to have you see where I'm at. And I think I did that pretty well. We got songs like Split the Goods where I'm storytelling and whatnot. We got beat changes. We got songs like No Discriminate where I'm just doing new stuff. Seven Heaven, that's a whole new style of things that I'm doing there. Excuse me. When you in the country, man, nature runs. So you got to excuse that. Um, it's just a whole new style of things. Call Me Two Times feels like classic Squadda, but with a little new edge. And a lot of these beats aren't the newest beats that I have. I like definitely intentionally picked each beat. Like Seventh Heaven, that beat is before COVID.
mm,
Call Me Two Times before COVID. No Discriminate was right before I recorded it, so that's probably the newest beat on there. um, Evolver before COVID. A lot of these beats are like beats that I picked up. I was like, this really shows where I'm at today. Um, yeah, that's really what it is, man. I wanted to show people where it was at. So that's ambitious for me because a lot of times I go with the flow of where music is today. A lot of times it feels like, all right, music is not doing this right now. Let me throw this in the mix. But this one was like definitely a reincarnation of Squad B.
And so this probably changes. You just mentioned a bunch of like notable moments from the album, but right now, do you have a favorite song or a favorite moment on Evolver or a couple? I'm not gonna hold you to just
Yeah,
one.
I got a lot. I got a lot. Let me try to prioritize them real quick. I'm gonna hit this vape. I don't condone nicotine and stuff like that, but Cowboy Eddie, so I gotta do when in Rome, they say. Hold on. Let's think about that. No, I don't chew tobacco, but I do this a little bit. Um, like I said, split the goods. I don't never like my storytelling. I don't even consider it storytelling because it's real life. It's just more so me, like Jeezy said. I recollect. It's more me recollecting the past and shit like that. So I'm always storytelling, but it's more so just telling y'all about my day, telling y'all about something that happened in the past. But this one is like a half fictional, half real life. The second half of Split the Good was real life. That actually happened. Once the beat changes on Split the Goods, all that shit that I talked about on that actually was a day in the life. But the first half of the shit was like me coming up with a story and shit like that. So that's notable for me as a lyricist. Like I don't really do that type of shit. And the fact that I could take a fake story and blend it into a real story was like dope as fuck to me. Um, there's a song was that get back up, greener pastures full like pasta. At the end of that song, I'm counting money at the end of that song. I ain't never did that before. When I'm talking shit and being like, he been up for 24 hours, I'm counting through money I made that day. So that was real cool for me. I did a Spice Girl ziggy zig ziggy ziggy zig and then I ended it with no more ziggies, no more ziggies. That's from a cannabis. He They would call it crashing out nowadays, but cannabis was on the radio and they asked him to freestyle and they was playing the record and they kept scratching. Cannabis was like, no more ziggy ziggies, no more ziggy ziggies. So I did some cultural important shit. I blended Spice Girls with cannabis at the end of Greener Pastures Full Like Pasta. That's pretty big for me. Um, I mean, even like the beat for Dream Ever, that's one of my favorite beats I made for a long time, and I never got to spit my flame or hear nobody else spit their flame on that. So that's notable for me. I mean, getting Dale on the album, that's very notable for the world. People
Mm,
love Dale. Man, when I was in, I went to summer camp. My mom made me go to summer camp for like 3 summers straight. And shout out, please don't forget this man's name. I forgot his name, Micah. I think I forgot this man's name. Sorry, but my counselor, the only thing me and my counselor had, like he liked rap, he liked he was into Stain and shit. So this is like 2001 or whenever. But me and him was rapping Dale's part when I was a kid. And just for full disclosure, I'm black, he's white, but we I was able as a kid, like 8, 9, 2001. I was 10, so maybe 10 years old. But me and him was rapping Dale's part. We both knew the words. Dale's part on Gorillas, Clint Eastwood or whatnot. Speaking
mm,
of cleaning this, but so that's big for me to be able to have a song with Dale, with him on my beat. Like it's just like a full circle moment to, as a kid, you know what I mean? That was a big moment. But there's a lot of moments on there, man. Like I'm happy that what's the name of that song? Late Night or what the freak Some Nights. Some Nights was a song I did in Detroit at a random studio. I got gifted some studio time and I went in there and did Some Nights. I also did what's the name of that song? It was All a Dream. There might have been one more I did on those two. I did those two on the same day at a random studio on I think a 7 Mile. Would do say what's on 7 Mile and Gratiot? It wasn't 7 Mile and Gratiot, but it was on 7 Mile somewhere. And that's big for me because like that was my first studio outside of the Bruisers that I went to and recorded. So the fact that I could add those on there is big. Like all these songs kind of mean something to me, man. I don't even know what the first song on there was. What's the first song on Evolver? Let me think about that. How did I start Evolver? Give me a second. I'm gonna look it up.
okay.
I'm working on a lot of albums all at one time, so you gotta. I'm not supposed to even say that part, but I'm working on a lot of albums at one time, so sometimes stuff can get a little tricky. Give me a second. I hope this doesn't start skipping because I'm using the computer to search something. Let's give it. Give me 10 more seconds.
You're good. You're good.
5, 4. Yeah, that's actually kind of crazy. Okay, hold on. We're back. First song on Evolver is "It's a New Day" Volume 2. That's big because I was actually at the Bruiser House, Danny Brown's spot. I recorded that, and I was just kind of like, late night being alone, punching in, trying to get some shit going. And the song is like a Volume 2 to a song that hasn't come out yet, and that song is going to come out soon. So that's why I named it Volume 2 because there's actually a previous version of "It's a New Day" that's coming soon. So it's all creative highlights for me. Like I'm happy about all of them, all the songs. Every song kind of has like a moment in there or its existence is a moment of something that's like creatively a breaking point for me. Where it's like, all right, I've evolved. I feel like Evolver as the title is a great title for it because it is showing my evolution. It is an album that, I've listened to this album a billion times. I don't really do that with my stuff. It's not like I'm weak, I'm whack or nothing, but I like music, so I'm listening to all type of stuff. But this album, I was able to put on repeat and listen to it all the time. I could still take a day break, and come back to it and listen to it. So it's a hot album, man. All of it is like a creative peak for me. I'm very proud of Evolver.
Yeah. Yeah, well, tell me about Cowboy Eddie is the next thing I want to hear about. I was waiting to.
Yeah, that's just how I'm feeling when I woke up. You know what I mean? Like it's just like we in nature, we in the wild, and we got to do what we got to do to feed our families. So that's just how I'm feeling. It's nothing too deep about that. I'm not about to change my rap name or nothing. Yep, see the nature calling right now. So I'm just, this is how I'm feeling since I woke up, and I just woke up not too long ago. I told you about that a little bit. It gets real crazy out here, man. Gets real crazy out here. But yeah, shout out Dell. Shout out the Bruisers, man. Shout out
Mhm.
everybody for helping keeping this Squad beat thing rolling, man. Because I'm not doing it alone. I have done it alone for a while, but where I'm at right now, I got a lot of support behind me. Rooting for me and keeping me going. Shout out Side and Beezy, aka Nick Jackson. Shout out Nick Jackson. I got a lot of support, man. I'm engaged. I'm doing a lot of stuff in my life, and it feels great, man. I'm in a good space right now. Cowboy Eddie, aka Squad Bambino, feeling great.
Nice. Well, the kind of the last thing I want to talk about, well, the second to last thing I want to talk about is, like you said, Dell was your one big like collaboration for this album. He was the one big feature. Um, do you plan on going back to that sort of like collaborative work anytime soon, or are you trying to focus in more on the solo stuff?
Great question. You must feel like you know something. You
I don't.
must feel like
Enlighten me. Enlighten me.
last night. I, um, last night I'm doing my research. Something like that. I'm on Twitter. I
Hmm.
come across a thread where I didn't know they were talking about me on the thread. Like what's funny is I saw the thread and I didn't click it, but I went back to the thread and I was on it. They're talking about Blue. I don't know if you heard of Blue in Exile, Below the Heavens,
Hmm.
or Below the Heavens as a classic album. It's Rain as a classic album. But they were asking on Twitter, not Blue himself, but it's a cool rap account was asking who do you want to see, Blue work with for a full length because I think Blue and XL just dropped a new album. Shout out to them, y'all go check that out. And my name was included in it, and I didn't know my name was included in it until I saw replies to it saying my name. So I clicked the thread, and the account owner himself said that he wanted to see me in Blue work. So I'm like, I got on my Cowboy Eddie shit through on my hat and hit up Blue. And here we are today. We talked a little bit, and I can sit here and say Blue got about 40 beats from me right now. So I feel like I'm definitely a producer at the end of the day. I love being a producer at the end of the day, and I'm gonna always be looking out for people to produce for and make music with,
Hmm.
whether I'm rapping or not. I love rapping. I was a rapper first, but producing is my thing. I like making beats. Like right now, like I probably will after this start working on a beat and stuff like that. Get some steak and potatoes, get some eggs, and then get back here and start working on a beat. So there's a lot of collaborations I feel like are on its way. We got someone out here called Boss Life Spence, and I saw him engaging with some of my stuff on Twitter. Go listen to Baby That's a Player, I think is the name of the song. Him and not Bruce Bari. Him and Young Bari, shout out Young Bari, legend from San Francisco, legend from the Bay Area. They got a song that's buzzing out here, and I saw he liked one of my posts on Twitter, so I sent him a good amount of beats too. I'm always looking out to work with people. That's always going to be a thing, whether it's on my albums or not. But I think on my own albums, I'm going to try to keep it a little more solo based,
Hmm.
so people get the full gist of who I am. Get a lot of songs with just Squatter B because it's easy for me to work with people. Like my albums will all be like the wonderful world of Squatter B if I didn't like calm down. Like I got a lot of friends, like I say, I got a lot of people I hang around, so you will always get collaborations from me. But as far as a Squatter B album, there'll be a little less features on there, but I'm going crazy on the producer side. I'm gonna be working with a lot of people that you'll be shocked to know about. I gave you one. I gave you one and a half. Lost Life Spence. But yeah, keep your eyes open, man. The producer is producing. Yeah.
Nice. Well, and then I saw on your socials, is there an expansion pack of some sort coming for Evolver or some extra coming our way?
Absolutely. You've been doing your
Okay.
research.
Okay. Tell just
You've
tell
been,
tell me about that. What can we expect?
I'm gonna put out the instrumentals for Evolver on there. I usually put the instrumentals with the original one, but this one I wanted people to focus on the songs themselves. So I'm gonna put the instrumentals out. I got about 4 or 5 songs that I want people to hear that I've collaborated with some people with. I did a album for Emmy Boom not too long ago. I got Emmy Boom and 8 9 the Brainchild on a song together. It's really dope. It's one of my beats. I'm rapping on there with them. It's a really dope song. I feel like there's no song like this that exists. Period. And that's the type of stuff that I like to do. I like to do songs that are good and that don't exist. So I got one of them. Um, There's this dude Nick Avery, who he's not in America, he's somewhere else, but he's been sending me beats for like 7 years, and I don't think anything has ever released. So I'm finally introducing his music to the world on the Evolver expansion pack. I got my fiance and a friend of theirs. They produce a song for me that really brings me to the essence of the cloud rap age. Like it's a really good song, and it really brings you back to like, the times when I was first coming out.
Hmm.
So I'm excited to give that to y'all. I got a song I produced for Fatboy Sharif and Food Lord, the Food Lord, and I'm on that song too, rapping. And it's another one of them songs. This is more of a hip hop. Like you might heard some songs that sound like this before, but it's one of them songs that you don't get from me a lot. So I put that on the expansion pack. I feel like people are gonna really like that. If you don't know about Fatboy Sharif, get in tune. And shout out for the Food Lord. He's putting out a lot of music lately. He's grinding. He on his horse and he moving too. The saddle is saddling. So I'm hyped to get that to y'all, man. Robbie Rob's on the Nick Avery joint. Um, yeah, it's some songs on there. I don't want to forget anything, but those are the songs I'm like really excited about. There's some good stuff on there. The expansion pack is gonna be great. And if you like instrumentals, you'll hear the Evolver instrumentals for the first time on streaming with the expansion pack too. So beware. I'm gonna put that out next month. Next month is almost here, so it'll probably be by the time you see this, it'll be out sometime soon.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all I have. I'll stop the recording real quick.